G'day everyone. Another week's rolled by. How is everybody? I can see that some of you are logging in, so we'll give everyone a minute to log in and I'll get the comments to come up as well. What's everyone up to for the week? Again, I worked all weekends, so I did see a little bit of live music for a very short time on Friday, but most of it I was at work for, so didn't get to see anything. Who have you seen playing this weekend? Actually, while we're waiting for everyone to log in, has everybody had a look at the Country Kickback page? We've got a poll going for our Monday Night Lives. We were thinking, because I've had a lot of people contact me of late wanting me to do an earlier show at about 7:30. The poll, a lot of those people haven't been able to vote because some of them watch on YouTube and some of them have messaged me wanting to put their votes into different times. So if you haven't voted, I think the poll ends Tuesday or either tomorrow or Wednesday. So pop your preferred time in there. And if it does come out that with people on YouTube and people on Facebook wanting a set at similar time or it's an even number for the two different times, we might have to meet in the middle and do 7:45 or something to try and help people out. But I know that people are saying that on a Monday night that some of them are preferring the earlier times and some are preferring the 8 o'clock, depending on, I guess, work schedules. The other option is they can always rewatch. When we've finished recording, it will actually come back up on Facebook or YouTube and they can rewatch the show. It just isn't live, unfortunately, so there won't be as much interaction. We will always try and check the comments anyway and write back, but it just won't be while we're live. Well, tonight we've got Simply Bush, or Paulie from Simply Bush, joining us to have a bit of a chat about what they've been up to, because they've had a really big year and what's to come for the rest of the year. So have some questions, you can jump on and have a chat and let us know what you want to ask. We might bring Paulie into the room if he's ready, and we'll start a chat. Hello, how are you going?
Hello, Danny. How you going, mate?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
No worries. My pleasure. It's nice to be sitting here in my own personal green room.
Yeah, your own little room.
So flat for an old bloke like me.
Oh, well, you're really quiet down there. I can see you sitting away. I've just got one problem. I can't see the comments, so we'll just give me a moment and I might just try.
I haven't made any comments yet.
No, you haven't made any comments yet. There we go. So it's not actually, I think that we've got an issue.
Oh, no, not an issue.
Comments. So I can see the comments, but it's on my phone, which is a little bit delayed. So, guys, you might have to bear with us tonight, whether that's a StreamYard issue that they're having, because they did send an email out later last week and they said that it would be fixed. I got a message, so I'd say it isn't fixed yet. But I can see we've got people. Robert's tuning in saying hi, and Beck's there. Hi, Beck. And Darren. Hi, Darren. Emma, Marlene, Michael. Got lots of people tuning in. So, hi, everybody. The only thing I can't see is the YouTube questions.
I can't see anyone that's there at the moment. So if there are people listening, hello, everybody. And it's nice to be having chat with Dan.
Robert says, hi, Paulie. I seen you at the where did you see him? 2 years ago. Hi, Tracy. How are you going? Tracy Adams has just popped on and said hi.
Tracy's a great mate of mine. Tracy and I have been friends for about, I don't know, maybe 25 years or something. She lives very close to me up here in Sydney.
Well, I actually met Tracy a long time ago in Tamworth, and she showed me. She took me to your show, actually. She took me to introduce me to your shows, and that was my Tamworth. It was something you just had to do. You just have to do it every year. You couldn't not after that. I don't know who led who astray, actually. I think we both did. And
I've known Trace for a long time, so I'm pretty sure I know who was leading who astray, mate. You're young and impressionable, Dan. So that train.
So it was very good. Hopefully I'll be able to catch up with her again in Tamworth this year.
Absolutely.
Well, we better get started because we've got people sending in questions and things.
Okay, so, no worries.
We might start with we go back sort of to the beginning, because you started off as a bush band. How did Simply Bush come about? Where did that start for you?
Okay, so way back when the Earth was cooling down and cavemen were sort of getting upright and starting to walk, I went camping with a couple of blokes, and one of them was a bloke called Gary. And I took my acoustic guitar along, and we played what little music I could play. I was only very basic guitarist, and so we had a bit of a play. And he rang me about 2 weeks later. That was in like probably October, something like that. Rang me a little while later and said, "Listen, I've got a mate called Tim Gower, and he has a gig to do, but he needs a band because he used to play at a place called Wilberforce Heritage Village out at obviously out at Wilberforce." And so we put that band together, and then somebody or other at that party was a friend of Greedy Smith's from Mental as Anything. And so somehow we ended up doing a thing with them a couple of weeks later at the Londonderry Racecourse. And then at that gig was a bloke who was the publican at the Macquarie Arms Hotel, and he gave us a gig on the back of the truck. If people from Windsor used to remember the old truck, and so that happened. And then go fast forward about 12 or 15 years or so, and then for various reasons, we needed a new person in the band, and my mate Chris Rieger come along. And Riegsy is a champion fella and a great, great musician. But he was a songwriter, and I had not written songs at that time. So he said, if we're going to go any further with this crazy whacked out band of ours, we better start writing some songs. So we started writing songs. The first one we wrote together was Surly Shirley, and that got us into so much trouble, you can't believe it. So, and we still sing that song together today. It's a great fun song. So that's the short version. And now, so there's two versions of Simply Bush. There's the old one, which, like I say, was like a little old bush band, and we call that BC, before Chris. And then there's Simply Bush, later on. And that's the one that most people know these days, that we write our own music, and most of our shows now we sing most of our own songs that Chris and I write.
Yes. Yeah.
And occasionally with other folks as well.
Occasionally throw a few covers in. You click those shears and all of those that you.
Well, they're traditional Aussie songs, mate, and they're important to us, Dan, because those songs really formed what we do, didn't they? Like Click Goes the Shears and Rybuck Shearer in South Australia, and they're the ones that I learnt when I was a young school tacker, and I really love those songs. That sort of attracted me to bush music, Dan. So they're still important to me. And the Whale, we do a song called The Whale, which is not actually traditional. It was written by a bloke called Fielding, who's an Aussie bloke. And that's a really popular song, but it sounds traditional. So, and that's what we try and do with a lot of our songs, is try and sound a little bit modern but traditional.
Yeah, and I think you're definitely achieving that. I've got hundreds of people scrolling in, giving questions. So what we will do is we'll try to get to most of them, and what we don't get through, we'll get through. Talk to you after the show and try and reply.
No worries.
Paul. Michael says that he loves your beard and he's growing one too.
Good man. I've got a lot of hair there, by the way, folks. I just got it tied up.
Now,
people go to the tank when they think I've got the hair chopped off.
You did.
My mullet is right there. Now, what's the first question, Dan?
Now, well, I wanted to have a bit. You've had a big year already, and we're only halfway through. So let's go back to the start of the year when you guys set out to try and break the world record.
Yeah.
In Tamworth. What gave you that idea? Where did that come from?
Oh, I've had the idea for a long time, mate, because when I first started going to Tamworth, I used to try and break the world record for the world's longest line dance. And they never quite made it, because line dancing was huge in America and really started in America. So I think that, they had a record of 7,000 people or something, and I think we got maybe 1,700 was the biggest. And so I thought we have to do something Australian to be able to set the record. However, on the day, due to perhaps a bit of an inexperience, Danny, and a bit of sort of flying by my seat pants, we kind of had a bit of a mishap where we miscounted one of the circles and left that off. And so we got past the time, but I haven't been able to get the verification full video from start to finish, which is what the world record people require. So, and the other thing is that in the video that we've got, people walk off when we sort of called it, and so not all the people were there for the whole 5 minutes. So we kind of dipped out, but that was on bad management on my part to a degree. But I hadn't done it before, so the whole thing was a learning curve, and so we didn't get it officiated. We broke it on the day. We ended up with 520 odd people.
Yeah.
But I can't. I had all the numbers verified and everything, but the video footage is the thing that I can't get together in one continuous reel. So yeah, the council had that footage, but we haven't been able to get it, like the council and myself. So it's been a bit problematic trying to get it ratified, mate, which is really disappointing because we put a big effort in.
Yeah, it was huge effort.
Sometime.
Are you going to give it a crack in Tamworth maybe again this year, now that you have a bit more of an idea?
Well, mate, we've got such a big year travelling this year, and it took pretty well 12 months to put it all together last time. So I think with what we've got coming up and what we've already done this year, and Chris and I have sort of been putting some song ideas together as well. It's been nearly 2 years now. It'll be coming this Tamworth. It'll be 2 years since we did another Here and Now and released that. So, we've got some other ideas. I've been, as I say, traveling a bit, and the band is going traveling very, very shortly. So hopefully that'll give us some, alternate perspective for songs, whether it be, musically or story-wise. So we'll see what happens, mate.
See how you go.
I don't think we'll be doing the world record again in January of 2020.
There's plenty more Tamworths after that. Plenty more time.
I'm still a young guy. I'm old after the trip, but I'm still pretty young.
I have just had a question from Sean coming. He wants me to ask you about the story behind Shirley's. I can never get that song out right. Yes.
Okay. So Chris originally went up there with a mate of his, a bloke called Daisy, and when Cooper was a really little boy, so Cooper's he's actually taller than me now, and he gives me cheek about that. He's about 14, but when he was a real little fella, Chris went for just a non-band trip, and they went up to Cameron's Corner, and they ended up at Thargomindah one day about 2:00 in the afternoon. And so there was about 30 or 40 motorcycles, and Chris was in a four-wheel drive with Daisy and Cooper, and they had the trailer with all the repair gear and the emergency trailer for the bike. So if anybody had an accident or had a breakdown, they could fix it. So they were in that, and they were camping along the way, and all the blokes on the bikes were all Chris's mates and that. So they stopped in, all these people at Thargomindah pub, and they encountered Surly Shirley. And Surly Shirley can only be described as, like, she's a really nice lady, but she's a tough lady, a tough Aussie woman running a pub in a real hard area, mate. And so she does become a bit hard at times. And Chris encountered her, and other people have encountered Shirley at a difficult moment, let's just say. I went there, and she was nothing but adorable to me. So I don't know what Chris's problem was. Maybe he didn't like I did. But look, so that's the short. So basically, Shirley was in a bit of a bad mood, and they tried to get some food, and the kitchen was closed, and they tried to get a beer, and that was a challenge. They got a beer, but she was not in the best of state. So she came home. Chris came home, and he said, "I met this woman called Surly Shirley. We've got to write a song about it." And that's then her niece was driving through Roma after we released it as a single, and she rings Auntie Shirley and says, "Hey, Shirley, there's a song on the radio about you. It's not real good either." So then I get a phone call at work, and I didn't even start the fight. And I get a phone call at work, and it goes, "Hello, you know who this is?" And I said, "No." And she said, "It's Shirley, and I'm not happy." So down from there. But now we're the best of mates, and Shirley is trying to still get us out there. We almost got there this year, but it was a bit of a mix-up, a bit too close to Music in the Mulga, so we're going to try it again. But the thing is, she's done well out of it, because a lot of people go there now to meet Surly Shirley. So in a funny twist, the song has taken tourism out to that town. When you drive into town, there's a big sign saying, "Welcome to Thargomindah, the home of Surly Shirley." And she has T-shirts, and my shirt is here somewhere. It's probably, I can't put my hand on it right now, but it lives in my office here, and it says, "I had a beer with Surly Shirley and survived."
That's great.
Out of Shirley's merchandise.
That's from Shirley's.
Yeah, from Shirley's merchandise. Do you know how much me and Chris have made out of it?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not a cent.
Got a
All
brass
gone to
button
Shirley.
too.
All gone to Shirley.
I might send her a bloody invoice.
Billa for the shirt. Billa for the advertising.
She's
fee.
wonderful, and she does a great job in the area. She's a real advocate, and like a lot of the women out there, mate, they are rock hard and put some of the blokes to shame. You know the way they work, and Shirley's always trying to promote Thargomindah. Just as our friend Carmel out at ULO does a great job with music in the Mulga, promoting the area.
There you go. I've got Robert just asked, did Duncan Toombs shoot the video for that song?
Yes, he did. And his beautiful wife, Amanda, made the backdrop that is the pub. And we've got that backdrop now as our backdrop for a lot of our gigs that we use it. So Amanda is a very, very cool lady as well.
Wow. See, he's done a lot of film clips that are fantastic, and that's just another one of them, Robert. Now,
he's a very clever fellow, that Duncan Toombs.
He's a very talented man. You guys have recently toured Queensland or done a bit of touring up in Queensland, but you became ambassadors for the Bush
Kids.
The Bush Kids. Yeah, it's a charity that's been around for over 80 years. So tell us a bit about how that came about. Are you there? We might have lost you. Hang on, we'll minimize. We'll just say, because I think Paulie might have lost internet. No, I think his internet has cut out. We'll give it a minute because it might actually come back. But is he going to sing for us? Maybe not tonight. Now we've just had that cut out on us, Marlene. But he might do it for us another night if it doesn't come back in. You guys have got so many questions, so we will try and answer them as the night goes on. But who has seen Simply Bush play? Who's been out and seen them live before? And where have you seen them live? Here we go. We've just come back in now. I think it's going to work again. Hello, you're back.
Hi. Sorry about that. We've only got Wi-Fi here, mate, and we live out in a little spot outside of Sydney, and so we don't have any hardwired internet or national whatever you call that thing. So I was just about to try and swap it over to my personal hotspot on the phone, but it seems to have come good.
It's come back. It does usually come back after a moment. So that's what I was just saying to everybody. Everyone is where have they seen you guys play, and what sort of shows they've seen you in over the years?
Where have we played over the years?
Wow. I was just asking everybody where they'd seen you, but there's so many places. So many places. I've seen you here in Tassie, in Tamworth. I think I've seen you at Gympie. I've seen so many different places now. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's always entertaining.
We've done a lot of gigs now, Danny. We've played for a lot of people, mate. We've played for a lot of people.
Now tell us what you've got coming up this year. You're heading in July. You're heading off overseas.
Yeah, so in July this year, we're heading over to a place called Karlsruhe in Germany, and we've got 3 shows in Karlsruhe on consecutive Monday nights, and then we're going up to Bremen on the middle week, and then a gig in Cologne, and then on the last weekend we're doing a festival in a place called Bremen, which is a maritime festival, which is kind of like, lots of Viking bands and Viking folky rocky sort of things, and we're their first Australian band ever. We were supposed to play at another festival, but we were working with an agent over there who sort of unfortunately got distracted and dropped the ball a bit, so that one didn't get locked in. But they've asked us to come back for next year, Dan. So we'll see how this all goes for us, both how the songs and music are received, and then if we've got the opportunity to go back to both of these festivals, it'll make it worthwhile to do it again next year and try and grow it from there. So we're really excited about it, mate. It's not quite as big as what it had first been planned, but it's hard when you're lining up things from the other side of the world, and I haven't done it before over there. So I was Chris's cousin is in a band called the Krusty Moors, and he has been unbelievably helpful. He has been so kind, and really he's put it all back together for us after we had this fella sort of drop the ball a bit. So
yes.
But we're really excited about it. We are committed for this one particular festival. So we decided that even though it's not going to be really profitable for us, we're going to go and honour that deal because you can't go back again if you sign a contract and then don't turn up, So we're going over and we're going to give it a crack, and so hopefully we'll sell truckloads of CDs to these people. So
absolutely, it'll be fantastic.
Well, and when I was just over there now, I was just over in Italy with my beautiful wife, and a lot of people have seen our adventures. But I popped up to Germany to try and Chris's cousin Ollie and I went door knocking at a lot of the venues. So we're trying to get some more things booked in to those other dates. And I did a gig up there and in Scruffy's, which is a really famous Irish pub there. It's a great little venue. And it's kind of an Irish institution in Karlsruhe. And a lot of famous Irish bands have played there. So we're really looking forward to that. But I did a little gig there one night and had an absolute ball, and they loved the songs and they seemed to like what I did. So when they see that with Chris and Huey, the fiddle player, and they've got some harmonies and some, instrumentation happening, I think it's going to be really good.
That is going to be fantastic. You have to come back and have a chat to us after you've done all that and let us know how it went. We'd love to hear it. And I bet you if people head over to the Simply Bush page and liked your page, they'll probably be able to see some photos as you're going on that.
You can certainly see the video of Karlsruhe in that. No, we've lost you again. If you go into the Simply Bush page and scroll down a little bit, you can certainly see the Karlsruhe video that we did whilst my wife and I were travelling over there. And it's got a couple of little clips of Scruffy's and the little acoustic set that I did in there, which was really good fun.
That'll be fantastic. Now, we are cutting in and out, so we won't probably go for too much longer because the internet is a bit hard for people to hear. But what out of all the songs that you sing, have you cut out again? I think we might have lost you. No.
I'm back again, but I didn't get any of that. I'm sorry, little mate.
No, that's all right. We won't go for too much longer tonight because the internet is really playing up. But I wanted to ask you. That's all right. I wanted to ask you, out of all the songs that you've done over the years and that you've recorded, written, or even ones that are covers that you're doing, what is your favourite song that you like to perform?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. There's probably a couple. The song that I love to perform that is our song is Making Hay. Chris and I wrote that with a fellow called Matt Scullion, and we love that song. And it's a great fun to play, and it's kind of a bit different to a few of the other songs we do. My favourite all-time song to play would have to be Raining on the Rock by John Williamson. And we've been closing our show with that for many years. John has seen the version that we do, and he's given us full endorsement to play it whenever and wherever we want to. We've played it with some great Aboriginal friends. We've had Warren Williams get up and sing that song with us with all his heart and tears streaming down his face. And to have that sort of connection with people, recently we were out at Whitecliffs out in far western New South Wales doing a drought relief concert. There's a young lady called Honor rang me and said, you came out to Whitecliff 16 years ago and we loved it. Would you come back and do a concert for us? And we played with an uncle out there, mate, and it was just incredible, mate. So our padre was just a mess, it was really wonderful. So that song for me is probably the song that I love playing the most. And then after that, it's the Whale. I love doing the Whale because it's a rock and bush tune.
Yeah.
And as far as Simply Bush goes, like there's Making Hay. And I also love singing I'll See You When I'm Looking At You, which is a song that I wrote many years ago. And that song has been really important to a lot of people. And so when I get, occasionally I'll be singing that song at a gig, Danny, and, you'll have, like at Tamworth, we get 400 or 500 people sing that back to you. And as a muso and songwriter, that's a wonderful compliment and a wonderful feeling to have that happen. It's really it's a great thing to have happen. So that's really powerful when that does occur.
Yeah, that would be an amazing feeling. I've got a lot of people saying that their favourite, Raise Your Glass, that's definitely one of my favourites.
Well, that's another song that I get goosebumps and sometimes still soak up when I sing it, because if I don't disconnect when I'm singing that song, it will absolutely get me. I have to sort of have it, in my heart, but I have to just control it so I don't get emotional, because it's still on that morning. I sang that, not this end. I sang band played Waltzing Matilda this year on Anzac Dawn service, but I did Raise Your Glass, the last one. and only just held it together when you got the cold coming up from the dawn. The sun's coming up, but the Southern Cross is still off in the distance. You just, it is very emotional, mate. So thank you for that comment for those people. It is. That's a really great song to sing to people.
That is, and you got to sing that song overseas with the troops. Was that in 2017?
No, mate. I went overseas before I wrote that song. So
I thought it was after. Okay.
We were in Egypt in 2014. So it was a few years ago now.
Oh, there we go. It was a while ago. And then where did the inspiration come from that? Because you've obviously got a lot of meaning to it. What made you sit down and write that song?
Well, there's a few things. The idea actually came from my youngest daughter, Gemma. We were just driving along one time, and she said, "Dad, I reckon, because I had been wanting to write an Anzac song, and I had written another one, which I haven't recorded. But Jimmy said to me, there's that thing that one of the companies was doing as a promotion, Raise Your Glass to the Anzacs. And from that moment, the song in its most basic form turned up in my head in about 10 or 15 minutes. And then I took that, like we do always. So when we write songs, Chris and I, we always write them together. But one of us will start with the idea, Danny, and the other one will complement it and add to it and try and give some objectivity. So we finished it off together, but the formation of the song came very quickly after that. And a lot of it was, my nephew did 6 tours of Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. We've all had family. My grandfather served in the Sinai Desert just near where we were when we went over there, only 40 k's away from where my grandfather was, and I flew over the desert that my grandfather walked through as a soldier. Like, they walked 140 kilometers through that desert, mate. When he was still alive, I got my big atlas and I went through it and marked all the paths that they walked. He served in New Guinea as well, so it was see that land was impacting. So all of those things, and I've been going to dawn services since I was a young fellow with my grandfather, and and with my mum after he passed away, and so it's all important. It's all adds up to, saying how you feel about being an Aussie, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've got lots of people commenting on that song, actually, as we're talking about it, saying how much they like it.
I wish
another comment coming up is Dad's Cruiser. A lot of people like Dad's Cruiser. So
okay. Well, that song there, Chris wrote that one even before he joined Simply Bush. So I reckon he was always destined to be in Simply Bush, for me and him to actually, well, it took me, I always say it took me about 13 years to be ready for Reegsy, because he was far too good a musician for me to play with in the early days. Seriously, mate, I had to learn a lot of things before I was ready to play with him. So I always am thankful for that time when you look back on it. But that was a song that
I think we've lost you again. Well, guys, I think we've lost him again. So we might actually end the chat there. What we might aim to do is, when they come back from overseas and head to Gympie and a few different gigs that they've got coming up, we might have a chat to them later in the year and learn all about that and see what they've been up to. And next week, We'll keep the times at the moment to 8 o'clock, but if the polls come back that people want to change it, then I'll let everybody know. But we have got some people booked in from overseas that we'll need to keep at the 8 o'clock for now, and just see how we're going. But we'll certainly post a lot of posts up to let you all know about that. We'll be in touch, but jump on the poll and vote. Let us know what you would prefer. Do you prefer 8? Do you prefer 7? And if not, if we've got an even number, we could do 7:45. We will arrange another one. Thank you, Beck, for everything you've been doing for us. You've been helping us out so much lately. So jump over and like the Simply Bush page, and we will talk to you again next week. See you guys later.